Hello and welcome to Train Sim TV. As you can see, we are on Train Sim Classic today and we're going to do a scenario from Matt Carroll. It is the Ferry-Go-Round rail tour. This is a scenario available from the Alan Thompson Sim website. I will put the link in the description should you wish to have a play with this one yourself. But sit yourself down for 45 minutes, get strapped in, we're going for a rail tour. So we are on the Hope Valley, just by Hazel Grove. We're at the Hazel Grove Court, which just is behind the trees. Lines to the left are to and from Buxton and Manchester. Those lines are the ones that are going to be coming up in the near future as well from JT. So that's the next extension, the Peak Forest stuff, which I can't wait to start playing. Let's get straight into this. We'll go for the briefing and we will get underway very soon. Right. Briefing on this one goes as follows. So, good afternoon, driver. Please set up your cab and prepare to get underway when you get the signal. Maximum speed is 75 miles per hour. Please note, you are standing on a gradient and will need to apply a reasonable amount of power before releasing them brakes. That's to prevent the rollback. Due to an issue with the simulator, you may be signalled into Sheffield station with a call-on signal instead of the correct main aspect. This charter started off from St Albans this morning and has visited various freight lines, including Ditton Sidings, Fiddler's Ferry Power Station, and the line between Aldringham and Hazel Grove, where we join the run. We will take the train as far as Sheffield, where there is a planned crew change. And this is 1Z57, the 1249 Fiddler's Ferry Power Station to Ferrybridge Power Station, again as known as the Ferry-Go-Round rail tour. Excellent. Cab's all set up, ready. I'll just set that up before starting the video. Service has gone past us. I think it was 158. I wasn't quite looking, but we will be following that by the looks of it. So we'll just wait for the road, and hopefully we'll be underway very, very shortly. Just so you get an idea where we're going to. So Sheffield's up there. We're going to go across the Hope Valley. Starting here, we are here. We're going to cross over very shortly in a moment when that goes through. So it's an East Midlands service there by the looks of it. It's Liverpool Norwich. So we're just going through HG30 in a moment and we'll get the road. So I'm just going to release some brake just to get ourselves ready. We'll get some power on, and then once we build up a bit of momentum, we'll get them brakes off. Hopefully we'll not go backwards. Aha! But do you know what? We'll go backwards when you don't put your train to forward. That really did not play well to my expert hand there. I thought we'd be all good. Now if it's just Twitch, you'll be all getting clips in by now. Right, anyway, we're underway. So we're not stopping anywhere other than Sheffield. Snow is about 45 minutes in total. So I presume we may get held potentially somewhere. We might get held just before we get onto the Midland. Bit of an overcast one. Not sure what the weather's got in store for us on this run, but we will take it as it comes. Maybe a bit of rain could be greeting us as we go over the tops, over the Pennines. 33 miles between here and Sheffield itself. $66,095 is our traction as well on this run, and we've got a brake of Mark 1s, bit of Mark 2 in there as well. This also makes use of the, well, I'm not sure if it makes use of it as such, but it uses it as a requirement. It's the Golden Age Development Mark 1 Enhancement Pack, which I can see already. There we go, with the Royal Scot headboard in there. So that must be one that was on this tour. It's quite nice to see. There's another one there, look. Oh, that's quite nice. Something different on there. Interesting. It's also got the generator car. I think the Riviera pack is used on this also. We've also got 66197 on the rear there. I haven't got no tail lights on. That's probably down to me. And already we are going to make We might have a bit of a mishap here. Oh no, actually, I think we'll be alright. I think we'll stop. That's what happens when you start waffling. You forget what your signal aspect is. It's all going well. Matt knows what my driving's like. After the poor derailment that I did at the end of his scenario the other night on the stream. Literally around the corner from the end of the scenario, and we did really, really well. It was a fantastic scenario that we did as well. It was on the southeastern mainline network route, which, funnily enough, will be featuring on a video again very soon. I've got one of Adam Haig's scenarios to do off his new pack. I want to feature that on there. I think it's going to be the NPV that I'm going to be doing, so keep an eye out for that in the very near future, along with other videos, of course, such as TSW. There'll be more Glossop route stuff to follow very soon, along with anything else in general that takes my eye, takes my fancy, as it was. Still want to try and get another sim rail video on one of the signal boxes as well, as that's been a bit of a gap between the last one we did. Just trying to keep things moving and ticking over nicely. Again, if there's anything that you guys would like to see on the channel, please let us know in the comments below, and we'll do our very best to accommodate this. If it's something that you really are eager for us to try and do, or if it's a scenario that you've seen that we might not have covered or played before, and you think it'll do as well on the channel, recommend us. We're all eyes and ears. We'll gladly take a look. Now, I'm just double checking that this signal isn't dud. I'm hoping it's just a long block, which I think it might well be, actually, to be fair. Yeah, it's just gone through. It is a long section through Disley. Or Disney Tunnel, as I like to call it. Let it build up a second, because it's quite a steep bit of a climb coming up. For a rolling start, or a standing start, should I say. Well, there we go. On the move. Yeah, as I was saying at the beginning, the line below us goes through to obviously Buxton. Some of the track is always there. It was there at the release of the Hope Valley extension, just mainly because it's so close to the actual route. So everything from these two tracks going down will be coming on that extension. We cannot wait to get on here. There be some really, really interesting scenarios to come from that. Very long freight runs as well. For more information on that route, though, you can head over to the Just Trains website, go to the development page, and you'll find the blogs, usually around every month, that go up on there. So there's plenty of pictures and text to go with them, giving you an insight of what's to come. Now we approach Disley Tunnel. We'll cut scene through to the end of here now, so I'll still not sit there through a long duration of tunnel. Alright, there we go. So just a quick cutscene there really, because it's a long tunnel. Other than just going to sit there talking in total darkness, and it just it drags on a bit. So here we go. Up to speed now, we're at 53 mph currently. Still out, obviously up to 75 mph on this working. We're running on greens currently. We shouldn't be too bad though, signal-wise, unless something gets pulled out in front of us. At least till we get to Gore Topley area. The East Midlands service should be straight through without stopping, I would have thought. Unless it stops at Chinley. But you know, sometimes the MT services, I think, do stop there. So I don't think everything does. We might just be unlucky and have a northern service pull out for us at New Mills. That'll be joyous. Cooler fans have just kicked in there as well. It's working hard up the gradient there, and there's another climb to come now. You can just see on the hood, it picks up a fair bit. It's fair size rake and a bit of weight. Obviously got the 66 on the rear. It's dead weight. It's not doing any work. Crossing over the New Mills Viaduct. A worthless little screenshot for a potential thumbnail, to be fair. That I do like. It's a lovely backdrop, lovely scene. There is that potential to be had there. You can just note as well, just in the distance, is where is it? There, the tunnel there. It goes a little viaduct through the tunnels to New Mills there. The line obviously that goes through to Buxton is on our right hand side in that tree line, just sort of around the back of there somewhere. Oh, I very nearly had kittens then. I saw the northern service, but he's been held. Thank Christ for that. Very nice of the signal, letting us through. I was expecting there to be a problem then. Interesting, there's the East Midlands trains service just there. He must be crossing over as well. Obviously they normally go around Stockport way, but that must have been a diagram that goes the other way. So we're in the area of Goals. This used to be an old yard. So if you've played this, the Peak Forest route on Trains in Wild, all this area, you'll recognise it as being a big yard at the top end, just north of Chinley. Obviously these days it's totally different from what it once was. Heading towards Buxworth and the old disused station as well, and then we'll go through Chinley. I'm not used to play with the vigilance. I usually leave it off because I say I use the controls and I haven't got enough buttons obviously for. I don't have anything on there that's set up for that. Rather than my hand going backwards and forwards between keyboard and the box, I just leave it off. So it makes a nice change to have it on. Driving properly. You will be sat there thinking, Tom driving properly, that never happens. It occasionally does. There's the site of the old disused station at Buxworth. I think it was disused actually on the Peak Forest route on TSW. I think at that point it had already been shut down as well there. Still running on greens, which is what we like to see. No sudden speed drops. Well, there is a 50 drop coming up, although we won't really need to do anything because we're losing a bit of speed at the minute, so we won't really have to just drop the power off for a minute, and it'll find its way to where it needs to be, and then we'll just put the power back on. We're just now crossing through the site of Chinley Station. A shadow of its former self, only now with an island platform which remains. This was a fair-sized junction, not a junction as such, but well, there's a junction station really, because the junction's just up ahead, but was a fair sized station with a decent sized building in there, and it had yards and turntables and everything in the back of it as well. Again, a massive shadow of its former self. You wouldn't, to look at it, you wouldn't really think what it once was. It's a shame, really. But that's its progress. And this area must be absolutely superb in Steam days. Plenty of action. Heavy aggregate, like stone trains and stuff coming from the forest quarries and stuff, and Tunstead. And then obviously just the passenger stuff as well. In the box. Line to the right is the one that takes you and will take you towards Peak Forest and Tunstead on the next update. Well, not update, but extension. So yeah, you'll be able to go down there at some point later, hopefully later in the year. And then the line in the junction coming from Tunstead, which is the junction which I think we've featured in a few of our wagon videos that we've done over the recent months. Another climb now as we make our way towards Cowburn Tunnel, which takes us on through to Edam. Do the same again. We'll do a fade through to the other end of the tunnel just because it's another lengthy section where it's just going to be sat in darkness, and there's not much to talk about in tunnels, as interesting as they are. We've reached over the summit, and as you can see we are now picking up some power or speed. 70 mile an hour top speed for us. Obviously we are on the lower speed board side. The higher speed boards are for sprinters on that run the line. They can take full advantage of the top speed that this route can handle. Stuff like 185s and freight trains, obviously they are down to the lower speed restriction. 185s are, I think, are down to due to the weight. Heavy. That's why they can't do the speed. Something to do with the bogies or something, I'm led to believe. HSTs, when they came over here with Project Rio, they were on the lower speed as well. Stuff like the 158s and stuff like that. I think Turbo Stars could do, like the 170s, they could do the top speed. It's everything after. Not sure what the 195s are classed as, whether they can do the top speed or if they have to do the lower speed on the route. It's interesting. I don't actually know that. If anyone knows, let me know. We're going to coast our way down at the minute as we are dropping down the gradient. 18 miles away from Sheffield, about 20 minutes running time to get there. We've got one more tunnel remaining on this run as well, which is the Totley tunnel. That obviously begins at Grindleford. Speaking of 185s, there's one now. Sprinters are 85, but we still stay at 70. Not too far away from Hope Earl Sardings either. That's just up around the next bend or two. Trying to see what action's going on there on this fine overcast day. We're on greens, which is what we like to see. Looks like there's at the moment we could be on for a clear run. Sprinters now go up to 90 as we stay at 70. Not much difference though on our top speed, as we can only do up to 75 today. I can see the 20, which is nice to see in the yard. Loads of JPAs. Some Freightliner shed action going on there. Nice. Excellent. Well, good to see some nice stuff in there. The first time I've actually seen the 20 users an AI in the sidings, to be fair, on a community run. I'm just approaching Hope Station now as well. It's a lovely footbridge there as well. Do take the time to have a look around that station when you go through it. It's got some lovely bridge work replicated on the route. But very shortly we'll be going through Bamford and then Haversage, Grindleford, and then onwards into Totley Tunnel. All quite close to space together, not massive distance between these stations. All a mile or two each. We're drawing down towards our single figures in mileage. We're 13.5 away now from Sheffield. gradient's leveling out a little bit. There's a slight climb just beyond Bamford Station. Just put a little bit of power down because otherwise it'll struggle otherwise. It'll soon shave some speed up off that, sorry. Lap ended 150. That'll be a Sheffield to Piccadilly service via New Mills and that way round. The Morpeth board down just on the left then, that was a speed reduction down for sprinters down to 75. We're not very shortly. I would suspect that we stay at 70. So about a mile, 1.2 miles to Grindleford, and on the HUD you can just about make out where the amps meter is where the tunnel begins. Speed drop there for sprinters down to 70 for the tunnel. Our speed does not change on that basis. "10 miles away from Sheffield with approximate driving time of about 14 minutes to get there. Once again, whilst we go through the tunnel, I will do a crossfade to the other end just so we're not sitting in darkness, twiddling our thumbs for a couple of minutes. We are now just approaching Grindleford. We leave the tunnel there. You've just seen there's a Morpeth of 55 mile an hour on the speed drop. That is 0.6 of a mile away, just by the signal box. We're going to drop some brakes and get this thing down to where we need to be. Currently running on greens. There's no yellow signals as of yet. However, this very well could change at any moment. Although at the moment we still have a clear road, so the repeater tells us on the right, and it is a green. So it looks to me that we should be straight onto the main line and be straight to Sheffield. I've dropped it down to 50 because very shortly we are down to 50, so I've just got ourselves where we need to be. Line to the right takes you onwards toward Derby or the Erewash Valley, down towards Towton, Nottingham, Leicester and beyond. Our ETA seems to be closing down a bit now. Top speed of 80. We can now do 75 in a moment. And this last short sprint down to Sheffield Station. I will say, since the core updates, that I've not seen as many stutters on this route. Nowhere near as many. To be fair, across most routes it seems to be that way. On the right, we've got Healy's Loop, and we do actually have a yellow signal coming up in the distance, so I'm going to take the power off. We have just made it to 75 as well, but we need to take it to 70. We are on the approach. We're only 1.8 miles away now. It reckons 5 minutes still to get there, so we must be getting hell for something. Wonder if that's the same unit that was in front of us. It's coming back out again. Must be. Running on a single is normally a 40 mile an hour or lower. Obviously being prepared to stop at the next signal. As for us is in 0.5 a mile. So very shortly we'll dab some more brakes on as we get towards the nearer the tunnel. Platform 1B is where we're going to be stopping, and it's not a passenger stop as such, it's just a stopping task. Could have been that one that was in front of us. It was one of them. There's two sets have just come out there. We have got the road. The call on, as was in our briefing, has just lit up. Fortunately, this is just something with this route. We've looked so many times at trying to get this set of signals working with no luck, and this is the best at the moment we can get with it. We do, however, try many things to get it working. It just doesn't want to play ball. We thought we did actually have it figured out at one point, but it threw a magic card at us, and its best trick, its best hand. And it presented us with another balky signal on that head. So yeah, it's a tricky one. We might get it one day. That red signal on the right is not ours. We're crossing over just before it. One B is the furthest part of the station as well on this platform, so we're going straight through to the end. But a big thanks for watching the video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Nice little scenario by Matt. Links in the description as always, so if you want to have a little download and play this one, feel free to do so. Thank you though. We'll be back again very soon for another video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Hit your notification bell for future videos, and catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/trainsim_TV on Fridays and Sundays. But thank you very much for watching, guys, as I overshoot very slightly. Take care, and bye for now.